Good morning, guys. This now the second part of the video in our transactions. I'm very sorry, like the people need to come on early and all. Because like transaction, I want to topic for itself. And according to it, Mr. Conte Giwi, like actually do much, actually do much. So I'm not going to create a video wherein I will can talk more, then you not reach that aspect. It could be somehow troublesome because the person we go sit waiting you watch na the video you no go see am. But anyways, we will try to see how they balance am. Without talking much, na exercise that I get for solve for this video actually because while solving the exercise now, I'm going to explain some of the things. So we get this first exercise here. You can pause the video and try to type this. They say create tables account ID, owner name, balance. They will create other tables, transfer, where they get the transfer ID from account to account, amount, transfer date. They will get the transaction. This is not the question they now we the person they ask. They say it write a single transaction begin from it or equivalent that one. Insert a row in transfer. That is insert a row in this. Subtract amount from account dot balance and add it to account dot balance. Then if the statement fail, me roll back. Me roll back if the from account balance is less than the amount. So for now, we only understand wetin this picture go say, but as we begin answer the question, now we know exactly wetin dey happen. So first, we will create a database first. If we not already get database, let's say database practice. So we need the database. We want So now we create a table. We get how many table for create? We get the TBL account table transfer. So we can create the table for that. Create table. Let's say TBL account. Then we give it this now the field account ID and gonna be balance. So now we can give it let's say account ID because now integer then primary key then medium negative one one then next we get the owner name owner name because na batch and owner is name then good then next we get the balance since now we get for use money we use the decimal data type yeah and ten so this 10 to means say na e dey go to the two decimal place after the whole number e go to decimal place so number will be stable so number will be stable then the way we get stable when I transfer so create stable then in back put the field where we get transfer ID from account to account and the transfer. So we start with the transfer ID, then input of course the primary key, input the identity, one one. Then go for the next one from account, jar. Now we can't do with relationships. Now this from account then to account they all they take their reference from this account ID because the person account ID now get for like where they send orange money, hmm? You dey see say transfer ID blah blah blah, you receive so 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 amount from so 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 person. So the person in ID, because most of the time the person ID na im name, either Ture or Yaja, you dey see am per the message wey dem go send to you. But in this case wey your ID na integer na im number. So now the from account, e dey take im value from this account ID. Then also the to account back, dey take im value from the account ID. Because under the account ID na dey all the users dem dey dey. Because this na a basic system for transfer funds from this account to this account. So the person account ID na im dey uniquely identifier in this table. So the from account and to account dey take dem value dem from this account ID. So they can create relationship. Let's say references here accounts, then the reference the account ID. So now we don't create that. You go for the next one when I wait to account. In back the same procedure. References here accounts, ID. Then go for the next one when I wait amounts. If you don't understand how this relationship dey work, no worry. As you go further, you go understand. We'll begin inside value, you go understand which are the amount, give back na money, so we can decimal of 10 power. Then you go with the transfer date. Now for the transfer date, you want use the date time and how would I say it? Data type. Then we use the date function. Now this transfer date, wetin you try to do now? One get the exact date and time wey the person make the transfer. Then this default, e dey take the get date, because we do this per triggers, the get date function. E dey get the exact date and time wey the person actually do the transaction. So this back we try to run am. So we don create the new table then. So now they can insert value them for the accounts now. So let's say insert into yeah, run TDL account, then the values. Let's see, because the account ID na identity, so you put increment by itself. So we just dey put for the owner name, and balance. So this will be okay. For the owner name, of course, matter balance, let's say 100 million. Yeah, yeah, run this. The amount just copy and paste. Change this name to let's say James. Then let's say 50. Then the next, let's say let's say let's say 5,000, 50,000. So let's say 80,000. Then this last person, let's say 5,000. Then let's say so more inside data into the account statement. Now, if we select all from accounts. Okay, we realize say we don't get with data then. We don't get with data, we get Benjamin. We get Benjamin how? Okay, I run out to tell yes. I run out to tell. Now just try for I get James Benjamin. Okay, I'll get it. Yeah, accounts. Okay, I want to put Benjamin now. Let the other changes. Now the Benjamin James Junior. But the ID they don't mess up. They have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. But that doesn't matter. Concept so now we don't create this table. We don't insert value into. Now if you look at the question now, it says it inserts a row into transfer. So now the transaction we can make is for insert a row into this transfer table. Hmm. So now they can begin the transaction. Every transaction they start with the word keyword begin. They begin it. Now this part a little bit complicated, so I want to make sure you don't straight hope you yeah, think of WhatsApp before you actually have this part. Because this part will get for you with some variables. Although Mr. Conte not do that part, he not do and so because I am file like this. We use I am file like this. But you know how Mr. Conte can get. Outside is talking to difficult. So it's better for you to know this. So inside this transaction, we declare a variable. Let's say at balance. Now how we dey create dis variable? You know say dis system na for transfer money from one point to another because we dey transfer from. So you wan create a transaction wherein if for example Benjamin transfer 100 loans or 100 units na James account, dis dat money wey e send e for reduce per dis in total, den James im own value for add. Na dat dey dis wey sef dey about dis particular system dey about. Anytime wey person make transfer, the money for cut na your account, den the person wey dey send am to im own balance for increase, just like orange money normal. When you make transfer, your own account e dey reduce value, den the person wey you send am to e dey increase. So na dat dey dis dey about. So now we dey create a variable balance wey dey store the balance wey the person get before no answer about dat balance wey dey. So see begin and data type int. So now we don declare the variable, we assign a value for inside this variable we are taking value. Now this particular variable we are taking the value from it balance from TDL accounts. Now again we are because one transfer from Benjamin you get right. So they say where account ID is equals to 1 because this account ID for Benjamin na 1, then for James na 2. So don't do that now. So now here is where it gets complicated. We can't use if statement. We go back to the program. So they can't get a conditional statement. We say if this balance what we don't create so, is greater than or equals to 100. Now before you transfer money, you for make sure say the money wey you wan transfer you get above that money. For example, you get 50 loan like orange money, then you wan send 100 loan to person. How you go able make that? How you go able send that kind of money? Because you account balance wey you get e no reach the amount wey you wan send. So na in this if statement dey work. If the balance wey the person get e greater than or equals to 100, then we can get wetin for execute for you. But if that person im balance no reach 100, then e for roll back the transaction. So na that way you can do that. So say if the balance is greater or equal to 100, then make we insert into CBL transfer under the okay, the transfer ID now identity from to amount in 2026. Here we come from accounts to accounts. Amount transfer account that is valid now. So for the from account, who side the money they come out from? Not so from Benjamin account, so give the ID now one. To account, who that the money they go to? James. Yeah, the ID now waiting. The amount, how much I want send 100. Then the transfer date. Now for the transfer date, we no need for can input date for manually, because we don't say okay, may use the default get it function. So we use the can put here now. Get date function. So now we don't begin the actual work. We start with the begin transaction, we declare a variable, we declare a data type, then we assign the variable which side they take a value from, then we begin the if statement. If the balance greater than 100, then insert into the transfer table. Now, after you know say where they deal with orange money, because they use orange money so that we understand, because now we plan use. Now when you don't send money for person, the money don't deduct by your account, e don't go increase the person account. You know say you back your account, it dey change, it dey decrease because you don't transfer money. So now the last part we can do, say now update TBL account. Now they set the balance. The balance for again equals to balance minus the money we send 100. So that's why don't make the transfer now. Where James don't get the update by account. For now 50,000. So if I send 100,000, it will be 50,000 and 100, something like that. So me your account for deduce by the money I send. So I send how much? 100. So the money for subtract by the money I send. So I don't update them. Balance where account ID is equals to 1, because now Benjamin the transfer. So having said that now, I forget to do something. Always this forget begin. Begin. Then okay. So after this don't make now, we say okay, print transfer successful. The print transfer successful. But before that, we commit. Now another keyword will start to begin transaction. The next keyword now commit and rollback. So commit they permanently save what you don't do under the database. Then the rollback they automatically roll back the update we make. For example, put something, they pull am back. So now that they reverse am. So the main or one of the key functions the way transaction gets. Now something you dey create database, you don't put this, you make mistake, pass you go delete the whole table before you able make the update wey you want. But with transaction dat very simple, you able roll back a transaction. Like you create a table, then all of a sudden you make mistake, you able roll am back, then you put the update wey you want, then you run am back, dey commit. So na dat dey transfer the transaction dey work. You dey able undo something wey you don do, then you dey able save something permanently. So transaction by definition na a statement wey dey happen wey you wan modify the database. So na dat dey transaction dey work. So after you don commit am, then you print this success message. You know say wetin? We start with an if statement, so forget else. If this not happen, this forward. So get else begin and then we can see now else may roll back the transaction. May roll back the transaction. We don't roll them back. They may print for we say in so now it make one make read this. You know, so get a if statement there. If the balance greater than 100, it will do this work within inside am. They begin this that update blah blah blah. But if the person in balance no reach 100, then may roll back and tell you say wetin insufficient funds. So close this guy. It give insufficient funds. So I think that's it. Okay, end. Now we begin up here. Yeah. Then we can end here before we start another thing. So this now the full weight of this transaction. We start from here till kind of here. So now the full transaction is full on it. So I can explain about the power now. First, we use the keyword begin transaction for begin any transaction. We use that keyword. Then we declare a variable via integer. We just partially store the balance we will get from the TBL account inside the account ID is equals to one. Then Benjamin account. Then if Benjamin imbalance greater than or equals to 100, begin. Then you insert then inside this transfer table under the from to amount blah blah blah. You insert from who that they send the money Benjamin when I account ID one. Who that is the send am to na James is the send am to when I ID with two and they are two. How much Benjamin dey send the amount. Okay, I dey send 100. Then the transfer date this now get date they get the exact date and time wey the person dey get. So after Benjamin don transfer, im own balance for reduce. So na im dey house. Now go update inside the TBL account. Set Benjamin balance now for the balance minus 100, where account ID is equal to 100 for Benjamin. So after you meet all these requirements, commit, then you print a success message. They will end this if statement. They will get in counterpart na else. So the else now, if all this wey dey under the if statement no work, then roll back the transaction. So na that dey this dey work. So more can run am now. Okay, so let's look at it. So now you see wetin one row affected, one row affected, they will get transfer successful. So now if we check we now just so now first I dey run this first. If I run this now, under Benjamin account, you see say in total don reduce. E be get 200 because e don pull 100 in total no e be get 100,000 because e don pull 100 in balance don reduce. Then James own balance don increase by 5,000. How much we get initially? In value for increase. How much are we James initially? Not for the time. So Benjamin your account don reduce. Then James your account don increase. So if you check the TBL transfer now, okay, balance. Okay, where James okay, this not affect why to account. So now if you check under the transfer table, they see say okay, person no make transaction from ID from Benjamin to James. How much he send? 100. Then wetin na the transfer date? E give you the date and time wey the person make the transaction. So more we make another transaction. Let's say now one transfer from let's say Jonah to Kisima. We'll try for now. So now user will get this ID one, they pull am, put Jonah in ID. Jonah in ID now it's in na 5. They will don't put the 5 now. The from account now will be from 18 from 5 to that one send for Kisima only in one ID na 6. Then how much you want send? Let's say you want send 500. Don't make it value bigger this time. This bag will be 18.5. So this now will be 500. Then this okay, no let the answer this goes around. So now move on this now. If you run this, you see one row affected, transfer successful. So we'll check this together account. Okay, so you realize say Jonah imbalance don reduce. Hmm? But Kisima in value no increase. Why? Okay, thank God, thank you. I don't know my this. Now two account of the update. We don't reduce from Jonah in account. So now we can increase for Kisima account. So yeah. Then now we say set balance equals to balance plus instead of minus now e go be plus 500 because wetin we don reduce from Jonah account now we can increase Kisima account where account ID is equal to wetin I keep my ID 6. So now when we run this transaction no execute am. So now if you can select all from accounts, now you see say Jonah im money don reduce then Kisima im own don increase to this 500 wey dem send. So now two update dey happen. The update first update wey dey happen e dey deduct from Jonah account, then the second update e dey increase Kisima account. So this is just a practice exercise. Now read the question in back. They say more create table accounts, more create table transfer, give any following things. Then the transaction page will say write a single transaction in income that inserts a row into transfers, subtract amount from account, and if you subtract from Jonah account now, and add it to account balance, then Kisima your own balance now. Then roll back if from account balance is less than the amount. So now we'll just be do for success, success, success. Now they can't check the rollback if the person in funds not enough. So let's say now we'll check what I say Jonah in balance. Jonah in balance now waiting 19900. So look and see one look and see now. You can subtract 19900 from Jonah accounts. Then we can add this equal to this my accounts. They will say if balance is equal to let's say how much have you so now this if statement dey only work if Jonah imbalance more than this, but right now Jonah imbalance no reach than this. So if you run this if statement e dey jump am, then you can run the else statement. So now this you get for can run else in the rollback. So more highlight and jump. So execute now. So wetin e tell me? Insufficient funds. So now this if statement e no run because e no reach e no get the requirement wey e for get because Jonah account no reach this 200,000. So as a result na the else statement na im dey can do. So now if you check the TBL account you dey realize say no transaction happen because roll am back. See, do transaction now. Do nine balance remains the same. This nine balance remains the same because the rate have roll back. And this roll back. The print for each of the three. So that's just sample practice. You can pause the video, go over and practice on your own. So I will just do another question. I will just do another question from there now. In the video. So now I will pause the video for now and try for typing question and then I will plan it. Alright, so welcome back, party people. It's your boy Benjamin. So this is now the second question I don't type. So you can pause the video, go through and so no create table products, we get the full name, record of things. Then no create table order details, we get the full name things. Then the transaction question says implement an order placement block that inserts into order details, deducts quantity from products stock, rolls back if stock quantity is less than quantity. So now, wetin dis dey try for say, dis na an ordering system, product ordering system. Let's say an online product ordering system. Now, you the customer, you don come, you don see the product name, you don see the stock wey available. Let's say na 10 na im dey na the shop or the side wey dey do the ordering. So now, you dey can now, you pick the product ID wey you want, the quantity wey you want, if na 2, if na 3, if na 4, then the date wey you make the order. So you know say under the quantity, let's say inside the stock you get 10, then you can buy 3. So when you don buy 3, this 10 for reduce to wetin 7 because you don pull out of the stock 3. So this for go wetin 7. So na that type of transaction how they can make. Wherein if person buy a particular amount of quantity, this stock quantity for reduce for meet up the weight wey this person need. Na im this dey try to say. It say deduct quantity from products stock quantity. E dey deduct the amount wey this person take under this side. So without further wasting much time, we start exercise for her. I wan make this one. Make I just cut this so that we go see wetin we dey do. Okay, okay. So I will not say na this question. So now we create the table. Let's say create table here. Fill the word product again identity. Then you get products. Let's see. Stock. Then create the order section. And then order details. So see create table order. Then indicate order yeah, product is then the reference from that. But this table, this product ID, now you can have back. So the reference from here, here. So I don't think it's really in there now for quantity. Quantity int, then other int. Other int, date, time, or so create this back. Then I will counter for insert value into the product. Eh? Let's say insert into here products. The insert for the product name itself. Value. Product name, let's say Air Force. Let's say the person agreed there is Air Force quantity. Let's say get 10. And Jordan 4. Let's say get stuff. The yeah, let's say get 7 stuff. Then now give me click them out. Which other click? Diagrams. Okay, nice. This will get 6 stuff. I'm going to take all my then get now give me click them out. I don't put scale first when I make product. Then I for about right. So let's say okay, new balance. So and the stock then this will get. Let's say we get like 12. Then run this. So now we don't insert into the products table. So now we go to the next part. We say it insert into other details. Then the transaction will insert into other details, deduct the quantity, blah blah blah, the low balance. So they can't start the transaction now. So say begin transaction, then follow the same steps. Create a variable stock. Stock integer. They will assign the stock value. Select stock is equal to the stock quantity from CBL products. Yeah, products equals to let's say now Air Force one by Air Force now one. Air Force is the ID number one. Then I'll begin the if statement. If stock is greater than or equal to 5, then insert into the stock begin and insert to the other details. Insert for the other ID, identity or document. Product ID, quantity, and other details. Okay. So the product ID, product ID, quantity, quantity, order, the fact, value, product ID of course now one, because now you want to chase. So the quantity, let's say out of this 10, 1 by 5, 1 by 5 apples. Then we need to get its function. Then after we insert the update to be a products set store first store files okay. I think that's it. Then commit transaction print order then ps x e go back transaction so okay. So start back before run down the occasion to move create tables, TBL products, TBL other details. You don't create them. They will insert values in for the products when I'm there. So then we begin the transaction. Begin the transaction. We declare available stock. We will hold the stock quantity over there. They will say if stock is greater than or equal to 5, then begin insert into the audit details under the product ID quantity and under it. Then the product ID we want get from our community Air Force Women ID one. Then the quantity 1 by 5 pieces of the Air Force. Then the other date will be we get date and function. Then after we don't insert, we don't say for update because we don't set. Now we main stock for reduce. So we say update to their product, set stock quantity equals to the stock quantity minus the one with the person number where ID is equals to 140. They will commit and they will print a success message then else go back come back from them insufficient funds. So move on. So you see wetin one row affected, one row affected, other successful. Now you can check the products. Now you realize say the Air Force na be 10, but because we don't make this purchase, we don't buy 5 pieces, the stock don't go 5. don't reduce. So now if we select all from, I just copy this, select all from other details, other details. You see say order one, product ID one, how much you buy, the quantity na five, then the exact date and time the person make the transaction. So we don't do the first one when if this don't execute. Now the else, now if the person in stock not reach five, then you want go buy past five, it tell you say insufficient stock. So now we can try am for, I think one stock there wey na five. Okay, you get 0 and 4. So look can see now 0 and 4 and ID na wetin na so. So this one, let's see one, this are equal to six. Then the product ID now will be two. Then one. Then this now will be six. We have product ID. So now if you run this, they give it an insufficient block stop. So now wetin dis dey try for do, the amount wey we wan take e greater than the amount wey available. The amount wey we wan take e greater than the amount wey dey, because the usual for na 5 pieces dey, den you wan come by 6, we no get 6. So as a result, this e dey roll back the statement, den e print insufficient form. So you dey realize the usual for in quantity no add, e no reduce. This back e no add, e no reduce, because wetin dey roll back the transaction. So now let's say we no commit this, then we no roll back this transaction. Let's assume say we no commit, let's maintain it back to 5. Okay, let me maintain it back to 5. So that 5. So if you can't run this transaction, they say it order successful. Now if you open another new query, another connection, they will try to select all from TBL products. If you run this query, e dey realize say e dey per run o, but nothing no carry it. Why this dey happen? Now when you begin a transaction, you either commit am or you roll am back, but for the mere fact say we no commit, we no roll back, the transaction still dey on. So another different person no dey able get that same. E just start like now, me and Jonah now wan buy the Jordan 4, I go for 5. I don say I wan buy 5 stock. Den at the same time, Jonah still dey make that same transaction for buy that same Jordan 4, but because na me first begin the transaction, wey na me own this, e don tell me say order successful, but e no confirm am yet, e no make am permanent for a roll am back. Jonah no dey able get access to the Jordan 4 because me don already begin transaction. So when you on in another connection, if Jonah try to access all the Jordan 4, e no dey show, e just dey show. So now if I want make Jonah see the table, I dey either can commit or roll back, or I can use the isolation levels. So now I can say set isolation transaction isolation level. So if I like this now, now stop this transaction now. If I like this, then I can run this now. Jonah dey able see wetin dey happen. Jonah dey able see. Say now the rampor don go 0 because wetin Benjamin don can order. Now Jonah you no dey see Jordan 4 again, stop 0 because this don happen now. But if I can roll back, let's say I can roll back this transaction. I undo the transaction. Let's say before I make the final result, I say okay, I no want it again. I no meet up. They are roll this back. Then if Jonah come under this for see how money available, you see say don go from 0 to 18 to 5 because I don roll am back. So this na other way. If you no wan set the isolation level to be uncommitted, you can commit this database back. Then you roll back. Now if you na a lazy type, you no wan type all this. If you know okay, if you want to say roll back transaction, you just say roll back. Just like how you for commit. Then this begin, if you no wan spell the whole transaction, you just say begin tran. Come back na the same, e dey give the same result. But because of purpose of the video, I wan complete the same begin transaction. But if you feel lazy for type the whole transaction, you can say begin tran. Then fun fact also, you can give you transaction a name. Now let's say you get boku transaction wey happen at the same time. Ijebu can give this transaction, let's say order details. You get a name. So that you know and box up yourself say okay, I get this, I get this. So you able to give you transaction the name. But this now I'm not sure say meant for because like not able to do that long or boku transaction at the same time. So that's it. If I run this back, if I run this, you see it hold back because as no corresponding between okay. I go highlight this other one. Now the order don't replace successful. So if I come here, I can highlight this. I see so okay, this don't go back. Without this, if you know how to use this isolation level, this read uncommitted because you get like I think like 4 bar five. Read committed, read uncommitted, read sterilized, label, something like that. But for now, that's it. These are the basic these are the basic this are the basic way for create transaction. Like Mario do am. So now that's it. If you want, you get the error handling transaction. We say you use the try and the catch. But then they are not go do am. Many people are box up more level this. So we'll start from the top. First we create database. We use the database in this practice too. Then we create this and the first question we create table account, we create table transfer, we get the following fields then we are. When the transaction question say write a single transaction, begin commit or equivalent to that. Okay. Then insert a row into transfers, subtract amount from that, roll back. So create the two table then. We insert data then for this account. We get Benjamin, James, Jonah, Sima, and Isaac. They will select all for CD table array like. They will begin the transaction, we declare a variable int, we assign the variable a value balance that's from the account identified. We use the if statement. If the balance is greater than this, then begin transaction and do that the other stuff then. If not, roll them back. The same for the products, we can do that. Create the two table and the product and the order details. So insert into the product table to begin the transaction. If the stock, we declare available for stock, we assign the value to one. Now, if the stock we are available under this TBL product is greater than 5, then insert this stuff then. If not, roll them back then. So guys, that's it. That's just the basics of transaction. But the key to mastering transaction, not to watch video, to read or do that, no, practice. You have to keep practicing. Go find question there. Like this then kind of question that you practice over and over and over again. So any kind of way, if Mr. Contact out something different from this, you still able to tackle them because you don't get the broad knowledge of the whole thing. So thank you guys. See you later and sorry for the delay. So I wish all man success in your communities. Hope see world pass with flying colors.